Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd of February. It's the start of week 5 here at school, so we're approaching halfway through the term. We're far enough in that the initial staggered arrangements that impacted kindergarten, preschool support units are behind us now. Everyone's working on the same timetable, which makes things a bit simpler for us here at school and certainly simpler for our parents. We have moved to a more traditional, as in traditional in the COVID sense, a form of dropping kids off at school and picking them up, with some slight changes to the sign procedures, which I'll get to in a minute. But the big news for this week is yesterday we had the PWSA Swimming Carnival, and we had a number of students from Northridge Park which attended along with Mr. Barker and Miss Leah. And the initial reports are that we've had a number of kids that look like they're going through to the next level. So that's a really good feather in the cap for those students, but also that's a really great thing for our school. So we're awaiting that advice, but it seems positive at this point. The other thing that I'd like to remind, particularly the year 5 and 6 parents of, is there should be some expressions of interest that have gone home around overnight excursions for later on in the year. So each year we take every child on an excursion, day trips for the younger children, and for the kids in year 5 and 6, we take them away generally for a 3-day and 2-night excursion. And we're able to fund that from our school budget. We get some fairly generous funding from the New South Wales government. So this year, we've got one group of our Stage 3 students going to Canberra for 3 days and 2 nights. That links with the democracy types units of work that they do here at school. And we have another group that is going up to the Hunter Valley to attend bush camp again for 2 days. So 3 days and 2 nights. So it does seem like a long time away. And I appreciate that whilst there's no cost to the families, we're not really giving a heads up around saving and that sort of stuff. But as a school, we do need to pre-purchase the buses and all the places for everybody that's up there. So it's really important that we have that information back as soon as possible to allow us to commence with our planning. If there's any questions you've got, one of the Stage 3 teachers can easily help you out with that. Now, I just wanted to have a bit of a look together at the sign-in procedures at school, because as you'd appreciate, the process that we run through at school isn't a school process. It's actually a New South Wales government and a whole of Department of Education process. And we started off with one system at the start of the year, but it has now changed. And the reason for that, I believe, is that with only having preschool parents and support unit parents doing drop-offs, the traffic through the gate has diminished greatly, and the way that contact tracing can be done has changed a little bit as well. So other than those groups of parents, the only other parents that we would expect to see in school would be maybe those that attend meetings and have some business to do at school that can't be done via telephone or by the internet. So what we have now for parents who are dropping children off at school, so in other words, they're not here for any other purpose except for the drop-off, is we have a manual sign-on sheet. Now, it seems a little bit old-fashioned to be working on paper, but this is the way that all schools are operating at the moment. So you fill in the details, including the time in and time out. And the time in, time out is really, really important. And then we have to have a physical signature which says, I confirm that I have read the COVID-19 requirements of visitors and contractors and service providers. I agree with and acknowledge statements and will comply with COVID-19 requirements. Now, basically what that means is you're agreeing to a little poster that we have sitting around at school, and it's got a little section that has that exact statement. So that would be what happens for those parents who are doing a drop-off only. So in other words, the preschool parents and the parents of the students who are in the support unit. For any other business that's done at school, so this includes the plumber if he comes, electrician or whatever, they have to do the same sign-in, but as well as a QR code for Service New South Wales, which allows us to pass that information on and the contact tracing to happen fairly efficiently. The other thing I'd like to just share with you for a moment is our school website. Our school website can be found fairly easily by going onto Google and typing in Lethbridge Park Public School. What you'll find is the top hit will be our school website, and it works fairly easily on a regular computer, as you would imagine, but it's also optimized for both Android and for Apple phones. And once you get onto the website, there's all the information that you would normally expect. You can click on the canteen page. That will take you through so you can actually see that the menu, the prices, all that type of stuff, along with the links in there to the Flexi School apps. Back at home, when you're in the school page, I always post these videos. They stay up there until the next one comes out, so that anyone that misses one can have a bit of a look. Inside the Return to School Phase 3 is all the school arrangements that we're working on. And if you scroll on down to the bottom, you can see that there's a couple of options here that may be of interest for you. The enrolment option, of course, is if you're enrolling in our school, you can click on there, you can complete a form online. You still need to drop paper off at school, but we can do most of the work via the computer. Or there's the make a payment option in there. So let's just say that you're paying for a new school shirt for a child. You can click on there, make the payment. It'll come to school. You can add a description to say, please send home a size 15 shirt for little Billy or something like that. And we can make all of that happen. And in the current climate, where it's a bit hard to get into school and there's a bit of procedure around that, it's a really good way to make life simple, both for you guys, but also for us. As you'd imagine, signing everybody in and out takes a fair bit of time for us. And that is time that I guess we'd rather spend in the classrooms. Well, the big news from Lethbridge Park Public School in week 5 is that after a considerable amount of time, in fact, since starting Lethbridge Park at the start of the 1995 school year and working for the Department of Education since 1987, Miss Goddard will be retiring this Friday. Now, Debbie supported me in my time here, but a wide range of principals before I arrived. And as well as that, seeing a huge amount of change throughout Lethbridge Park Public School and the Department of Education generally. She's seen generations of children grow up here. And in fact, we now even have some children that she knew in her early years here at school who are parents themselves with students attending our school. Now, one thing that most of you don't know about Debbie is she is exceptional at avoiding the camera. So no doubt on Staff Photo Day, the phone will ring and Debbie will be very busy attending to some important business at the other end of the school. So when I went to find the first school photo that she was in, she was missing. I had to fast forward all the way through to 1997 to this photo here. And if I zoom in on this lady here wearing the black jumper with the sun on front, you will see that this here is Debbie Goddard in 1997, her 3rd year of service at Lethbridge Park Public School. And I wouldn't mind betting that from this whole crowd of staff, most of those people are probably now retired or very, very close indeed. So I think you'd have to agree with me that Debbie's period of service, quite outstanding. And on behalf of everybody here at school, the staff, the community and the students, I'm sure we all join together to wish her well for the best and a well-deserved rest as she leaves us this Friday. So from everybody here at Lethbridge Park, I'd like to wish you well for the rest of the week, and we're hoping for an update near the end of week 6.